Any number of things.
This would be the greatest conspiracy in the history of Earth.
I don't know, man. There's still people who think that we've landed on the moon. So,
well,
all right.
Let's not get started in that. I don't have the energy.
That's literally out of this world. So.
I don't have the energy to talk about this right now. Although the Time magazine photo where you could see the wires, where Michael Collins was just like on the moon with wires, you could see him in the reflection.
You can see a lot more than wires.
Damn, on a time photo, you're saying that's the picture of him on the moon with wires? You could see
Honestly,
him.
Listen, hear me out. All I need is photo evidence. Because like when the rover that they landed on the moon with, they didn't take that with them. So all I need is photo evidence that rover is still there. That's all I need. Why is there none? There's none.
Well, we haven't gone to the moon since 1972. Apparently, we accomplished everything we had to there.
But we've been to space. They have telescopes and stuff. Like, zoom in on the moon. They have the technology, my guy.
Of course they have the technology. Well, remember when, and I think it was when was it? The 80s when Reagan gave a moon rock to the president of Sweden and they ran a test on it and it was just a piece of wood that they glossed over and made silver. It's like, seriously? Like, you're giving that to the president of Sweden? It's like we're proving it's a piece of wood? And then in Bill Clinton's book, My Life, he said he was talking to a carpenter. I learned this on Joe Rogan's show. He was talking to a carpenter. He wrote this in his book, My Life. And he said, I was talking to this construction worker in the 80s from Arkansas, back when he was back home. And he was like, I really don't think that people landed on the moon, Bill. And at the time, Bill was like, that's crazy. Like, you're insane. And then he wrote, he said, after 8 years in the White House, he said that he thought that construction worker was like ahead of his time, as in like the guy knew something. Like was way ahead. Like he wrote that in his book, in his memoir.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's weird.
Sketchy stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Just
Bill
flag.
Bill Clinton was also pictured with Jeff Epstein a couple times. So.
Yes, he was.
Oh also, the Clintons have deep ties and all of that.
Deep.
But so does
deep
Trump.
Ties.
So.
Deep ties, both of them. Did you guys see that picture that Fox put up when they were running some story on
they cropped Trump out?
So weird.
Is it though?
Wait, what happened?
The Fox was running a story on the Maxwell lady. You know the Epstein.
It's Epstein, Maxwell, and Melania and Donald Trump in a picture, and they just cropped Donald Trump right out.
How about just the flag?
The flag waves, man. That's enough.
That shouldn't happen on a rock with no atmosphere.
Maybe because it was in Nevada.
Could have been New Mexico, bro. You never know.
It was Area 51, my guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably. The lighting was so perfect on the moon.
It's almost like it was a movie set.
They had Hollywood lighting on the moon. It looked great.
That's just not true.
Well, the smart people always say, like the scientists, they say it would take a lot more money to try and convince the people that it was fake instead of just doing it. Like it would
also take a lot. Here, I honestly think like the people in Houston or whatever, like the NASA station, that I think they thought they had everyone convinced except for like they told as few people as they could that it was a hoax. Everyone else thought it was legit.
It's a big secret to keep. It's a lot of people to hide it from.
Right. So if it's only the 3 astronauts, Stanley Kubrick, somebody else. That's it. 5 people.
5
people.
What?
He was always really unhappy.
Yeah, he's very defensive about people questioning it and stuff.
Yeah, you would think that someone who landed on the moon wouldn't have to defend it.
Especially someone who's famous for taking communion right before they went out there.
But at the same time, like, if they actually did land on the moon and like Buzz did step on the moon and people were questioning it, I'd probably be offended too if I actually did go to the moon.
Exactly.
Then provide proof other than doctored pictures and a fake video.
We'll never know.
It's just not true.
Oh, we know.
Until they release the JFK files.
Luke, I think you're on the wrong side of this.
Craig, hear me out.
I've heard you out for 4 fucking years.
Just explain why the flag waves then.
It doesn't
wave.
My guy, Bro.
It doesn't wave. It goes back and forth,
It doesn't
does.
which is
wave.
even worse.
It does go back and forth. Watch the video
Only-
right now.
Only when the astronauts are fucking working on it.
No.
Yes,
put it
dude.
in,
There's a
and they leave
horizontal.
it.
There's a horizontal one in this, and the flag is crimpled onto it to make it look that way. Who's gonna want a picture of a flag just hanging limp on the moon?
I'm talking about video
Yeah,
where neither of them are touching it, and it just waves back and forth like uncontrollably.
They're just
That's
bouncing
good.
around and
That
it's waving.
video.
It does. I've seen the video. It is
Craig,
strange.
look up the video. Do you think I don't know what I'm talking about, my guy? You know how many times I've watched this
I
video?
just know for damn sure that people.
Drinking game. Every time Luke says, "My guy, take a drink."
Yeah.
I've already
drunk.
had much too much wine, my friend.
Is that your previous obligations?
No, that's a long story.
Luke, could you imagine like all of like the Houston Control thinking they all landed on the moon their entire life, for, like 60 years
Yes,
of life
because
after
it
doing
happened.
it?
What do you mean?
Of them landing
It's
on the
real
moon?
life. They like the people. I mean, I'm sure some of them are dead by now, but like the people who are working like the control station and at the NASA like lab and stuff, all think they were guiding a true like moon
Yeah.
voyage, and
Oh,
that's
no,
why they're
I
all like. I think it's real stress, and I think it's a real celebration, like when it's successful and stuff. But they're just fools, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm saying just imagine like living your whole life thinking you guided a mission to the moon and it not happening. If it didn't happen, that would. It's just sad. If it didn't
No,
happen.
that's my thing. I don't care that they faked the moon landing. I think it's impressive that they convinced the entire world that they did something they didn't, and it's
It's very impressive.
I like
Incredibly.
it's insane. But one of these days we're gonna find out the truth, and everyone who's been laughing at me all these years is gonna eat my shit.
Craig, it is impressive that it took only 9 years to get a rocket ship all the way to the moon and have people land on it and walk around.
Elon Musk did it in like 5.
4 years prior to that, NASA's head astronaut